Are you ready to embrace the best years of your life? Well, welcome to Boomers and Beyond, the podcast that celebrates the 55 plus community and everything this exciting chapter has to offer. Everyone, I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva, and every week I'll dive into topics that matters to us the most. From health and wellness, travel, family dynamics, finances, family, friends. We're going to explore them all. Going to have some good advice, but I'm going to ask for yours as well, because there'll be lively topics about aging vibrantly, building strong relationships, and guess what? Making the most of retirement. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, even wine or juice, and settle in with me as we navigate this exciting world of boomers and beyond. And don't forget, subscribe to the show and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And share it with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too, because this conversation is all about you and me. So let's get started with Boomers and Beyond. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Boomers and Beyond. I'm your host, Antionette Blake, and I'm broadcasting to you from our lovely Smyrna, Delaware. And I'm reaching out to all of my wonderful listeners wherever you may be. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Now, in episode number 41, I want to delve into something truly special, something that often gets a little put on the back burner, should I say, especially when we have such busy lives. But this thing holds incredible value and warmth. I'm talking about the power of reconnecting with old friends and strengthening those lifelong bonds. Yes, we're going to talk about the power of friendship. Going to go back to high school and to college as well. Now let's think back for a moment. Remember those late night study sessions fueled by eating ramen noodles or sardines or that hash? Oh my God. Remember being out on the track running until your legs were so tired? I mean, you couldn't walk. Those big tests that you tried to study for, you crammed all night. Staying up late in the dorm, or even getting that first car and driving everybody around. Well, these are just a few experiences that many of us shared with our friends and our classmates from a long time ago. And they can last a lifetime, even though we don't see the people that we shared these memories with. But as the years go by, we take different paths. We move, we grow, we get married, we have kids, we get divorced or whatever, careers and families, and even, those geographical distances. They cause a sense of separation, which is why, even though social media can be a pain in the butt, it's also a great way to reconnect with our friends. And those friends, oh my God, the beautiful truth about it is those bonds are probably stronger than we realize. And by reaching out and rekindling those friendships, it can bring us a wealth of joy, support, and a sense of history that is welcomed in our lives today, especially as we retire. Because at this stage in life, whether you retire, you're still doing a 9 to 5 or side gig in it, these connections can bring such value and be enriching. So let's talk about how we Dust off those old friendships and strengthen the bonds that have stood the test of time. I've got a few practical ideas for everyone that's listening today. Now, whether you're working or you're retired, remember the power of a simple hello. What's up? It may sound, juvenile or obvious, but sometimes the hardest part to reconnecting is just simply making that initial contact. Think about somebody right now that you've been meaning to reach out to. You see their social media pages, right? And you may like and share and congratulate them online. But how about calling them or having an email or a text or even a private message? Something like, been thinking about you. How have you been? That may spark something that will reignite a connection, right? Use social media cautiously. Don't become a stalker or anything like that. But use those platforms on Facebook, LinkedIn, and even on Instagram. These are great ways to find old classmates and friends. And I want to say LinkedIn is the best, especially if you put in the school that you attended, because LinkedIn will then give you suggestions of people who also graduated from the same school. Because remember, I graduated from Delaware State College before it became Delaware State University. So sometimes finding people from the college may be a little bit more challenging to find those that are listed as, graduates of Delaware State University. But you can join alumni groups. Hello, supporting secretary for our DSUAA Alumni Association just for a few months and then be over. But alumni groups are on Facebook all over the place. And look for those people that you remember, right? But be genuine and personable. Hello, it's me from blah, blah, blah. I saw your post about blah, blah, blah. It brought back some memories, blah, blah, blah. That can be a great way to just open the door, to reconnect. Now, this is something that I haven't done in a long time. Reunions. I haven't gone back to my high school reunion because, to be honest with you, I really didn't like being in high school. And I'm not going to tell you what high school it was. You can look it up, whatever. I didn't like the high school that I went to. Back in the day, it was very prejudiced and racist. And, if you weren't a jock or a cheerleader, you were a nobody. And I did go to my 10th year high school reunion in 1989. It was the same. I don't know what happened, but I just refuse to pay to go someplace where I'm going to be ignored. So I don't even go. But you might want to go to your reunions, and especially if you went to an HBCU, you want to go back to that reunion. You want to go back to that event. You want to be on the yard during homecoming, because these are definitely designed for reconnecting. And even if you was like, you didn't know anybody, this is a great place because you're relaxed and everybody's having a good time and you're catching up with people and you may not remember their name. Like, hey, how you doing, girl? I haven't seen you. How you doing? Reunions and alumni events are wonderful. And once you make the connection there, that once a year thing, it seems like you can carry that relationship forward until, you're back to like where you were. You're reconnecting and that friendship all over again. And when you do connect, think about the good times. Share a funny story, a memorable event. I always tell people, I remember when I was at the MLK building and I fell off the wall, and I still get teased about that from a friend called Dwayne. I'm not going to tell you his last name, but he thinks it's so funny because the wall's not there anymore. Told you it was Delaware State College, not Delaware State University. But how about a teacher who made a big impact? Share those memories, because those memories can create, a sense of connection and warmth. And a great thing that you want is warmth when you're rekindling those relationships. And also remember, people change. They're different now than maybe than when they were in school. So be open-minded and accepting of their current circumstances and choices, because it's really about the foundation of the friendship that matters the most. Now, speaking of what matters the most, let's think about some specific approaches depending on your current lifestyle. Because I like to talk about those that are already retired, and well as those that are still doing a 9 to 5, and those like me who have a side gig, right? So For our wonderful retirees, more times gives you more opportunities. Retirement really gives you more flexibility with your schedule. So you might consider organizing a small get together with your local high school friends or your college friends. You can have a casual lunch, a coffee date, or potluck is a great way to reconnect and spend quality time together. And if you live in a community that has a location that you could rent, that would be a great place to reconnect and just be able to be in comfort and have a good time. Think about activities that you enjoyed back in the day and those activities you might enjoy now, a book club, a walking club, a volunteer opportunity. Those activities are a natural way to bond and create new memories with your friends. So I know I ran track back in college for a minute, but I'm not running track now. But I still like to walk. So maybe some of my friends who were on the track team like to get out and walk. We can meet at a park, something like that. Here's another good thing, and I know some of you have it because I have a lot. Old pictures and yearbooks. Why not bring them with you to share with your former classmates? This can bring back, oh my gosh, so many memories and start great conversations. So that's something to do if you're retired and you have a lot of time on your hand. But for those of you that are still navigating the 9 to 5, why don't you just, schedule some check-ins? Like we talked about this last week. Self-care is important and life can be hectic when you're working. But if you make a conscious effort to schedule like a short call or a video chat or even a Zoom, like 15, 20-minute Zoom catch up, you can recreate those memories. You can talk about some fun times. You can sip and share, do a sip and share Zoom call, right? That keeps those relationships going. Lunch breaks, okay. So if you live in the same city, the same town or local, you can do a lunch date, right? It's great to be able to catch up, without interrupting your normal day or interrupting your night or your evening or your weekends if you have so much else going on. And if you really got it going on, why not a weekend getaway, even a short one? Like do a weekend trip, a girl's trip, a guy's trip, a sorority trip, a retreat or something like that you guys just can relax and enjoy, each other's company and a change of scenery. And, again, just dedicate time to being together. That can strengthen those bonds. So, those are just some quick things that you can think about doing. I hope I'm planting some seeds in your head. If you want to make the power of your friendship, not just let it go because, life is short. You're here today, gone today. The beauty of reconnecting with old friends is because you have shared history and an understanding that you already have. You're not making anything up. These are the people that knew you. You knew them. They witnessed your growth. They share familiar and similar perspectives in the world. So reigniting these bonds can bring back joy, a sense of belonging, and a really valuable support system as we navigate this wonderful stage in life because we're getting to that point that we're finding out that our friends are leaving. They're dying, they're passing on. Don't let those friends pass on and you just say, oh my gosh, I was thinking about her or I was thinking about him. I wish I had had an opportunity to talk to them. Do it now. Do it now. Think about it. This is what I want you to do. This week, I want you to think about one or two friends from either high school or college that you've lost touch with, and then take the first step. Send a message, make a call. You might be surprised at the warmth and connection that they have for you. And these friendships are a precious gift. And sometimes all we got to do is tend them like a garden to make them bloom beautifully again. So think about that. The power of reconnecting, the power of friendship. Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you for spending some time with me today on Boomers and Beyond. And I hope that this episode, short, albeit short, but it has inspired you to reach out and reconnect. And until our next conversation, Cherish your connections, both old and new, and keep embracing all the richness that life has to offer because we're only given one opportunity. There's no do-overs. And if you like these episodes, please leave a comment, share it with your family. Let them know that we're here for you, boomers and beyond, because we're in a really great time of our lives. So I'll see you next week. I want to thank you all for tuning in today's episode of Boomers and Beyond. I hope you enjoyed the show. And don't forget, subscribe and leave a comment and share it with your friends. You can find me on all my social media platforms. And you know what? This podcast is on Apple and Spotify and Google and iHeart. They're all out there. Just ask for Boomers and Beyond. And if you have a question or a topic suggestion, send an email to me at ablake48@gmail.com. And if there's a topic that you want me to explore on this show, make sure you leave that as well. I'm also actively seeking sponsors who cater to the amazing 55 plus community. So if you have a business or a service that aligns with my listeners' interests, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email. You know how to do that. ablake48@gmail.com. Don't forget, join us next Saturday for another exciting episode packed with information and inspiration for living your best life after 55. Boomers and Beyond is hosted by Buzzsprout, and the music is by Mass O Beats from freetouse.com. See ya, it's the DE Diva.